when we want to manifest, when we want to experience, when we want to express, when we want to create, when we want to learn, all those are kind of synonyms, okay? Then that is an iterative process. So we have to take an action. We have to get feedback. We have to learn from that, and then we have to take another action. This is why we need a vehicle to fulfill our values. We think it's because here's the thing, values, we often think of values as just being these sort of intangible things. Well, how do you know what your values are? I'll tell you the answer to that, just to keep things as brief as possible. Your values are generalizations that you've made about things that are important based on experiences that you've had. So you actually develop your values or you form your values based on experiences. Well, what are experiences? They're activities, they're things that happen. So you actually have to do something in order to get feedback so that you can learn something, so you can take more action, get more feedback, learn something, take more action. And through those repeated actions, which are the experiences, you then develop your values. That's how you know you want to be happy, because in the past, you've had many experiences where you said, this was an experience where I was happy, and that's important. You can only know that because you had those experiences. If you just stayed forever resting as the self, you would have no experiences. Therefore, you would not know anything about you would not know anything about anything. So very, very blissful, right? So I'm not knocking it. It's just that most of us are not going to pull that off because that's not our path right now. And if we tell ourselves that that's the only way, then we stay stuck. Whereas what I'm proposing is just be honest that you have values. You want to live in alignment with those values. You want to learn important key things to satisfy certain desires that you have. And that will actually help you more than trying to deny things and just rest as a self when you're also trying to pay bills. Your values are generalizations about what you perceive as important based on experiences that you've had, which means, again, that comes out of this iterative process where you take action, you get feedback, you learn, you take more action. So you keep iterating in this way. It's cyclical. You take action, you get feedback, you learn, you take more action. So manifestation works like that. So when people think, oh, I'm just going to I'm not going to take any action, you're deceiving yourself. I'm not saying that seemingly magical things can't occur. Of course they can. But they appear to be magical only because you're not conscious of the iterative process that's occurring. There's still an iterative process. It's just that you're not conscious of it. But for all of those aspects of your experience that are conscious, then having awareness of the iterative nature is useful because that will allow you to actually start to consciously do this. So you want to have a goal so that the goal you can take steps toward. You can take actions, get feedback, learn, take more actions. Now, again, those actions might be conscious or unconscious. If they're unconscious, then the results will appear to be magical. But oftentimes they are conscious. And so being aware of this consciously will allow you to act in alignment with that so you can get enhanced results. And in any case, having a goal is useful because it will allow you to focus so that actions can occur, whether it's conscious or unconscious. That will allow the creative process to unfold. If there's, in the absence of goals, I would say you cannot achieve anything without a goal. It's just if you don't make the goal conscious, it's harder. If you don't if you achieve anything, there was a goal, whether you were conscious of it or not. So making a goal explicit and conscious is useful, and it does not have to be absolutely the perfect goal. This is a mistake that people make. They get hung up. They say, well, I'm not sure if it's exactly perfect. Yeah, of course, you're never going to have the perfect goal. When have you ever had the perfect goal? You think, like, has anybody here ever been married exactly to the perfect person in exactly the right way? Has anybody here ever had exactly the right house in exactly the right way? Has anybody had exactly the right career? I mean, it doesn't happen. Exactly the right vacation, whatever it is, it's not going to happen. You're never going to have exactly the right goal because the goal was not the point. The goal was the vehicle. You just need the goal to be good enough. And this is again, this is like gold because people get hung up on the goals. They think, they're like, oh, I don't know if it's good enough. I don't know if I should go for something even better. Like, my marriage is pretty good, but I think it could be better. Maybe I should get divorced and get married to somebody else. Like, oh my goodness, really? You want to do that? Um, so don't expect for the vehicle to be absolutely perfect, whatever that would mean. Just understand that the goal is the vehicle. You want it to be good enough, and then you want to know what the values are that you're wanting to fulfill through that goal. So when you have those two things, then plus the understanding of everything else that I've said, you can achieve miracles over and over and over and over and over.